cousin. He cheated. Not only did he cheat, he got her pregnant. So I guess I'm the stepdaddy, or it's about to be a story time, because this is one of the craziest things that ever happened to me. It was just a regular day. So I met this guy, and I met him at the club. You know, he was staring at me, he was looking at me, I was looking at him, you know what I'm saying? But it was one of them situations like, bro, what you looking at? What you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all already know what's good. You know, it was one of those. Either you want a fight, you know what I'm saying? But me being on my little hood thing at the time, I approached him. You know, I had a couple people in the club with me, so it was like I wasn't worried. I was like, what's up? Like, I walked down the stairs, because I was sitting on the stairs. And the stairs right here, but there's a bar over here. And I walked down the stairs, and I go over to him, and I'm like, what's up? And he was like, what's up? But it wasn't like a hard what's up, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? It was like, what's up? You know, so I was like, oh, no, he don't want to fight. It must be the other thing, you know what I'm saying? So I asked him, like, you ain't from around here, is you? He say, nah, he live close by. I said, oh, okay. What city? He told me what city he from. I said, yeah, that's what's up. I said, you drive, you got down, how you get down here? Oh, yeah, I drove. I got 2 cars. I said, all right. I said, you got a number? They was like, yeah. They took the little napkin, wrote their number down for me. I said, okay, I'm gonna hit you up. You know, I'm like, now, I did hit him up. I hit him up style like Blue Cantrell. And we started talking, you know, make a long story short. We hit it off. Everything was good. Now, he told me that he has a newborn baby. You know, the baby was a couple months. And at the time, I was cool with it. You know, I was into the masculine person. You know, if you had a girl, that's fine, you know. That was more sexy to me. You know, you got a woman, like, okay, you a real one. You know, at least that's what I thought. So he was bisexual. Now, he told me I'm not with the baby mama, you know. We just together because we got a kid, but we not together, you know. So he was available to date me, you know. So we started seeing each other. We spent a lot of time together, you know. We got into a relationship. Now, the problem with this relationship and having a baby mama on the side, it was very stressful because for one, he lived like about an hour, 15 minutes away from me. So it wasn't just like a quick up and go over to baby mama's house to see the baby. It was like, okay, you got to go back home, you know, and the baby mama kept using the baby against me. And it was one of them situations where she didn't know about him. You know, she didn't know that he was in a relationship with me or was even into men. But, you know, I think she was in love with him, or I know she was in love with him, and she used the baby to keep him close because he loved his son, you know. And I love the fact that he loved his son. I was cool with it. I wanted to be a dad too, and I was thinking, you know, like, we could both be there for the kid. Now, it was times on Christmas where I, you know, put in money to buy the kid Christmas gifts and things like that. I was really invested in the child, and it was a good thing. The baby had nothing to do with it, but the baby's mama, you know, every time he would come home to be with me, because we lived together, we'd have a couple good days just chilling, and then next thing you know, ring, 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 and it's the baby mama calling. And yeah, your son miss you. And, you know, I understood that. It was like a situation where I never would fight, you know, or take the time or attention away from a child. But the baby was a few months, you know, and that don't matter. You know, I know the baby probably still missed him, you know, but she calling talking about some, yeah, you need to come see your son. You ain't seen him in a few days and he miss you and I need this and I need this and that. And every time he would up and leave me. And he'll be like, oh, baby, I got to go, you know, back home to, you know, spend some time with the baby. And I would be like, you know, I could never fight with that. I would never be like, no, you need to stay here and be with me and forget the baby because the baby needed his dad, you know. But I knew that the baby mama was using that to keep him there because she wanted to be with him, you know. And but when you caught in that middle place, what do? You know, he would always reassure me that he not into her and it's just for the baby. You know, I'm going home. I'm spending some time with the baby. I'm coming right back. You know, what could I say? All right. You know, I see you when you get back. There was times that I went there with him. I seen the baby, met the baby. The baby mama, she never really said nothing to me. You know, in the beginning, I guess she thought I was just one of his homeboys, but she started to realize that he was living in Cleveland with me. And every time, you know, she kind of started putting two and two together, like feeling like I'm the one who taking him away from the kid and her. And, you know, I didn't go every time because sometimes he would go up there and he would spend days. So I couldn't do that. But there was times that we would go up there just for an hour or two to visit the baby. And the baby was beautiful. You know, the baby mama always looked at me with the side eye, but she never said nothing to me because she knew if she said something to me, I would have been like, you know, I wouldn't have disrespected her because that's your baby mama. But I would have been like, what's up? What you talking to me for? You know, it depended on what she said. She'd speak sometimes she didn't, but it didn't matter to me. I was there for him, not for her. So over and over again, it just kept on being the issue of, I gotta go see the baby. You know, she need this, or, you know, she calling because of that, or the baby need Pampers, or the baby need new shoes, or, you know. And he would go and come back, and every time he would leave, I would just wait, you know, for him to return. It started taking a toll on me, you know. I started to not like her because I knew she was using the baby to get to him. So I really didn't care for her, you know. I really didn't. But at the same time, you got a newborn baby, so what can I do? You know, I'm just the boyfriend on the side. The baby mama and the child seem like they gonna always come first. And I just took that position, you know. Whenever he had to go, I was like, go ahead. Now this is where things turned a little left. Um, he ended up going to jail. And when he went to jail, I was there for him. I would drive hours to go see him. He was in jail maybe like a few hours away from where I lived, and every chance that I could get, I would go and see him. He would tell me what days I had visiting hours, and I think they went by the last name. If your last name was A through, let's say M or something, you was this time, and then the other letters, at least that's what he told me. So I had certain days that I could go visit, and every time I was there, I would drive for hours, don't matter how rain, sleet, snow, hail, fire, thunderstorm, apocalypse, whatever. I was going. And we had good times, for the little 40 minutes or whatever that I got to spend with him, because you'll drive 3 hours, 6 hours if you add the time coming back just for like a half an hour, but it was worth it. Now, at the time, I didn't realize that he was still keeping in touch. Well, I knew he was keeping in touch with the baby mama because he had a kid, but the baby was still too young to even talk. So I guess she would tell him, what was going on with the baby, but she also had her visiting days that she would come. Now, he never mentioned to me that she was coming every visiting day just like I was. I also didn't know that she was sending him money like I was. I thought I was the one holding him down and taking care of him, but he was getting it from both ends, And it's just crazy. He gets out of jail, and of course I'm thinking I'm the first one he gonna see. I'm like, because that's what he told me. It was like, baby, I can't wait to get out. You gonna come and pick me up, and I'm gonna go back home with you, and we're gonna kick it. Then I'll go and see the baby, maybe a couple days later or whatever. And I was so happy and excited about that. Like, yeah, that was the plan. But when he got out, it changed. He was like, well, my baby mama gonna come and get me, and I'll be to see you in a couple days. And it was a whole thing about having to be released to his mama house and the address and things like that. So I was like, okay, just make sure you come and see me. Now, he got out, and I didn't hear from him probably for about a week. I was hurt. Like, that pain that you just like feel like so deep. It's just like, literally, the pain from love is like one of the worst pains that you could ever imagine feeling. Like, it's kind of unexplainable. It's not a pain like you got shot or stabbed, or it's a deeper inner pain, like a soul stabbing. But of course I was like missing him and things like that. I was trying to get in contact with him. I don't think he had a phone or number and things like that yet, but I just had to wait until he came, and that was just crushing me. But he did, and when he showed up, it was all love. I asked him, he was telling me, he had to get things together and had to get a phone and this and that, and I was just happy to see him. This was the dude I was with. We was in a relationship for years at this point, and everything was good and lovely and fine and dandy. We chilling and having a great time, and the relationship was going strong until this one regular day. Like I told y'all in the beginning, it was just a regular day. We chilling, and we smoking, and just lounging. It was a good day. We run out of blunts, and he said, I'm going to go to the store. The corner store is probably not that far because I live on the street, but I'm not at the end of the street. But it's kind of like at the beginning of the middle of the street. But it was walking distance, maybe like a 5-minute walk, if that, to the corner store. So he goes, and I'm chilling. I'm like, okay. he goes to the store and probably like about 10, 15 minutes, he ain't back yet. So I'm starting to be like, it's one of them things you chilling, you just look up and be like, yo, whatchamacallit that? And it's like, well, he went to the store. I don't know what happened. He should have been back by now. So that just like, I'm like, well, let me go see what's going on. I get in my car and I ain't get in the car. I walked because it was walking distance. So I walked to the store, I go in the store. I'm looking through all the aisles like, I don't see him nowhere. So I come outside the store and I'm looking down the street. So I look and I see him at a payphone that was across the street, like a little bit down the way. And I'm like, what is this nigga doing on a payphone? We got cell phones, like I couldn't understand why you would be on a payphone if we had cellular phones, So I walk up to him, behind him, and I say, what's good? What you doing on a payphone? He turns and look at me with the phone like, baby, and I'm like, nah, what you doing on the payphone? Like, who you talking to? He was like, trying to start. I was like, man, who is you talking to? He was like, you want to know? You want to know who I'm talking to? I'm talking to Sally. She pregnant. And I'm like, it was like, that's what you want to know? Now you know. Man, when I tell you, like, my heart dropped. I ain't know what to feel in that moment. I was just like, she pregnant. I was like, what you mean she pregnant? Like, how many months is she? He was like, she's 6 months pregnant. And I'm like, wow. So it ain't even no chance to... Y'all gotta forgive me. I know this ain't right, but ain't no chance to get rid of it. I mean, what you thinking? Like, that's what I thought at the time. I was like 6 months. Like, I was in shock. I stood there. I was like, man, I took off. I just went back home, and I go upstairs and I'm so heated and hurt and just, I can't believe that you got your baby mama pregnant. So you've been pretty much having sex with your baby mama and me. Like, every time you go out there, you having sex with the baby mama, but I started to calculate 6 months was about the time when you first got out of jail. So it's like when you came out of jail and you went home and was kicking it and doing those things that y'all was just getting it in. And then you came back to me after a week to, lay up and chill with me. And now it was just like, I didn't know what to do, what to say. I was so hurt. I couldn't believe it. Like, I trusted you and you betrayed my trust. Like, now I don't know what to do. It's like, but he came in and we talked about it and he was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said, why did you sleep with her? Like, why? Like, just tell me why. Like, just make it make sense to me, man. You told me that you didn't want her. Y'all wasn't in a relationship. You with me. Why did you do that? Now look, now we got it. Now it's a baby. Now, like, we already having enough issues with the first baby and her now you add another one. Like, why would you do that? He says that, when he got out, she picked him up and was trying to sleep with him, and he did it just because, like, for one, he ain't had sex in a long time, and for two, because she was there for him a lot when he was in jail. and sending him stuff. She came and got him, and he felt like he owed it to her. And just all these reasons why he did it for the baby, and I just was like trying to understand. But this is the thing that really just made me calm down. I was like, man, now you got 2 kids. Like, I don't even know where I fit in now. He was like, he could be your baby too. Y'all know that made me melt a little bit. He was like, it's not my kid. He was like, it's your son too. Like, he could be both of ours. And I was like, man, we just gonna have to deal with it. 2 kids. You just got to deal with it. I'm not gonna break up with you or nothing like that. Which, I don't know. Y'all tell me if y'all would have, but I just said, yo, we gonna roll with it. Now, the pregnancy, had the baby. He had to be there for the baby, and the baby came out beautiful. Beautiful little bundle of joy. And we was moving on with the relationship. Now, that didn't change her trying to use the kids against him. And at this point, I was like the villain. I think she started to realize that it was something going on with us. This is another turn where y'all probably gonna be looking at me like, yo, but he needed to be there with the kids because she needed to work, and she was saying that they ain't got no babysitter and she can't afford a babysitter and this and that, and she needed him to be there. So we had to move in with her for a while she was working. So he took care of the kids while she was at work, and I was there with them, but it was still a situation with her trying to be with him. It was days that we would be in the living room and they would be cuddled up on the couch across from me. And I'm just sitting there like I'm the homeboy because I don't want to disrupt my dude's family or get her to take the kids away from him. So I'm just playing my position and taking all the pain just to keep things right. They would be sitting on the couch like this, and she would be under his arm. And I felt like she knew it. They'd be sitting here, and she'd be up on him, laying on him, and I'd be sitting across. Just, of course, I could still see them. The couch was right across from me, but I would just not try to look. And every time she would look away or go upstairs to use the bathroom or check on the baby, he would look at me and be like, baby, I'm sorry, baby. Like, she going to work in a minute. Just give me 1 minute, baby. I'm sorry, please. And I just look like, but it was like one of them situations that I did it for him. And this was every night. He had to pretend like he wanted her in order for things to go smooth. And I had to pretend like I was his homeboy. And none of that bothered me. But the pain that you feel inside watching your man laid up on the couch holding somebody else when he should be holding you, his baby mama. And he was so respectable. Like, it was never no interaction with us in front of the kids. And I was fine with that. I felt the same way. I played with the kids. The kids was like, but it would be like when she was at work and the kids was asleep, then I would get affection from him. But at the same time, he always, it's kind of weird because he still treated me the same. Like, as far as like making me plates or going to get me coffee, or we stayed smoking together, and it was all, he always respected me. But how can you respect, it's a weird thing, you know. He would be like, yo, you want to play in front of, but he really called me baby when nobody was around. But he'd be like, you want me to get you a plate? And I'd be like, yeah. And he would go get it. Or he, in the morning, he'd be like, yo, Ali, you want some coffee? And I'd be like, yeah, you know. And the baby mama, I swear she knew. She knew what was going on, and she just didn't care. She just wanted him, but she never really said too much to me. I knew she ain't like me because she felt like I was the one who was taking him away, and that was the reason why she stayed flirting with him, touching him. And it would be times she would be saying, calling him like, come upstairs, you know, while he down there with me. And I'd be like, really? Like, you about to go upstairs with him? And he like, just 1 minute, baby, I'll be back. And I'm like, I stayed hurt over and over, you know, the times that we were staying with them. But the moment that she would leave, it was like I had my baby back, you know. And it was just like, okay, that was enough for me, I guess, to keep me holding on. And the fact that it was for the kids, you know. I wanted him to have a relationship with his kids. I wanted him to be a good dad. Eventually things came to a head, and I knew that she knew about us because they had got into an argument, and, you know, she started screaming from the porch, oh, you and your man, you can take your man and go, y'all can leave, you know, and calling him gay and this and that. And that was the first time I ever heard her say something like that. She never approached me because she knew I was about it. Like, I would have definitely checked her. She never asked me what's going on with you and him, because I would have been like, don't ask me nothing like that. Go ask your man, or go ask him if you want to know what's going on. Like, don't question me about nothing, you know. But any of y'all out there that's seeing somebody that's bisexual, or dating a bisexual man, or a man with kids, especially young kids, it could be very hurtful and painful at times, because you sharing somebody, you know, especially if it's a situation where you got a baby mama that don't know about you, don't know about him, and he has to live a certain life to be there for the kids, and the baby mama still got feelings, and, you know, she using the kids against him. If you act up, you do something wrong, or you make me mad, you can't see the kids, and he really want to see the kids, and he DL, but still available to love you away from all of that. But when you come around that, can't nobody know. It's just a lot, you know, and especially the situation I've been through, because I was literally there with them, living in the house with them. You know, I would say, don't do it. You know, it's not worth the pain that you're going to have to go through. You know, if you have a man that's bisexual, and I'm not saying that there's not bisexual men out there, there is some, but it has to be one or the other. You can't have both at the same time. Like, you can't be with me and still be with women at the same time. You know, it's just not something that I'm going to deal with. You know, and you shouldn't either. Make somebody choose. Like, it's either me or them. You know, you might have an attraction to women, you know, but you can't be in a relationship with me and feel like you still could sleep with women. And some of these bisexual dudes, they look at it like, oh, I'll sleep with you and we could chill, but I'm going to be with a woman because the woman can have my kids and that's who I want to eventually marry, and I can have a family with a woman and I can cover up with a woman, but I still want to sleep with you too. Or I want to have kids, but for right now I could be with you, like for right now, like what, like do the heart work like that? Or is it just, that's just another sexual relationship? Like we just sleeping around, but at the same time, if you constantly spending time with somebody and you constantly sleeping with somebody and y'all doing that, you don't think some type of feelings gonna develop? I just don't get it. Like you have to choose. And that's just that. You can't be with me and be with somebody else. And I'm not dealing with that whole thing. Like if you got children, the relationship needs to be over with the mom. And preferably, I would like the mother to know, that you're not into women. But you still want to be there for your child. Don't leave the girl on and thinking that, you still like women and she could be with you one day and you're going up there sleeping with her one night and the next night you don't want to be with her, or you're not telling her the truth about yourself. And I can't blame her because, yeah, maybe she didn't see the signs that he didn't want to be with her because he never was there and never was fully invested in it. But I feel like you should have been honest with her and dealt with it, instead of putting us both through that heartache and pain. It's hard for you because, I don't want them to know about me. She gonna take my kids away and do this and that. But it's also hard for us. But I guess you made the sacrifice for the children, and I understand that. You was willing to do whatever to just be there for the kids, and that's a wonderful thing. I'm just saying, if a man is bisexual and has children and he's going back and forth, don't do it. Make him choose between you or the woman. You can't sleep with both of us. Some people don't believe in bisexuality. I do. I believe that you can be attracted to the same sex, but that don't mean that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can't have both of us at the same time. And if you were a woman, be faithful to that woman. A lot of times guys be bisexual and they don't tell their woman that they bisexual because the way the woman gonna look at them. Oh no, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with a bisexual man. A lot of women just want to be with a straight man. And they fear that, okay, if I tell her that I'm bisexual, she gonna leave me or gonna think that I'm cheating with a man or creeping or something like that. And there's plenty bisexual people who, when they in a relationship with a woman, they just in a relationship with a woman. They don't creep or cheat with a man, but that urge or that attraction to man is still there. A cheater gonna be a cheater. So if you with a cheater, he gonna cheat regardless. But if you with a faithful person, they can be faithful to you. Y'all just don't feel comfortable being with a bisexual man because you think he's not all the way man or man enough, I guess. But before you knew he was bisexual, he was man enough for you. You know what I'm saying? And some of these dudes that y'all think is straight or whatever the case may be, they man enough for you until you find out that they creeping with, a tranny. So I don't know. I just don't know if I would do it that way. Let me know if you have ever been with a bisexual man, if they ever had children. Any situation that you've been through, how did you get through it? Is that something you're attracted to? Are bisexual men more attractive to us because they still like women? I want to know. You know, do you think that's more manly that he still like women and that turns you on? Because that's the way I thought back then. I was like, yeah, well, at least he ain't no punk. At least he ain't scared of, you know, coochie or pussy or whatever. He ain't scared of it. You know, he a real, I thought, yo, this a real one. He ain't going out and, you know, just because a person is bisexual don't mean that they can't be still wild and still out there. You know? I went through a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, and I learned a lot of lessons in that situation. I've been with a few people with children, and they all different experiences. This is the type of experience that I'm not willing to go through. But it is what it is. Let me know what you think, cousin. You know? And you know how we chop it up here on Tripp Plugged. It is what it is, man. Holla at your boy. Comment, like, subscribe, all my new people. Cause man, Tripp Plug is lit, man. We the hottest on YouTube right now. So join the family, cousin. Holla at your boy. I'm out.